of the line. So this we're going to talk about point slope linear equations. All right, so as the name implies, it takes a point and a slope to write an equation in point slope form. Okay, slope-intercept form, you took the slope and the y-intercept. You had to have a special point for the slope-intercept form. So point slope can be the slope and any point that the line goes through. It doesn't necessarily have to be the y-intercept out of that. So the point slope form is y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. So, Algebra 1 stuff here that you should have seen some of that. Again, this is not the form we have the most experience with. Remember, we've worked the most with slope-intercept form. So we're going to start with point slope form today, and then we're going to morph our equations into slope-intercept form. And then once we get into a slope-intercept form, we're going to morph those into standard form. We're going to do all three forms together. So just put it all together today. So with the point slope form, m is still the slope. That hasn't changed. The x1 and the y1, those are an ordered pair. That's the point that you are given. So you're going to have to be either given the slope and a point, or given 2 points so that you can find the slope and then use one of those points to write the equation on the line. So those are the things we've got to have. So let's take a few examples here, and we're just going to write the point slope, slope-intercept. We're going to do all three forms with each example we're doing, and that way we don't have to do a whole bunch of separate examples here. So we're going to write the point slope form. That's the one we'll start with. And then we'll do slope-intercept form and then standard form after that. So first example, they give us a slope of 3, and it goes through 4, 5. Okay, so if we have a slope and we have a point, then we can use the point slope formula form. So point slope, we're going to take the y minus the y value from the ordered pair. What's the y value from the ordered pair? 5. And then equals the slope. What's the slope? 3. They give us that. They're nice to us. And then in the parentheses there, we're going to have x minus the x value from the ordered pair, which is 4. And there's no simplification that we need to do there because there's not any double negatives. We'll see some here in a minute. There's double negative. We got to do a little bit of simplifying there. That is the point slope form equation. There's no other work to it. That's it. It really is that easy. Okay. So that's a nice, I like that form because it doesn't require a lot of work. If you've got a slope and a point, it doesn't require a lot of work. The slope-intercept form is the next form. We're going to take that same equation and write it in slope-intercept form. So if it's in slope-intercept form, what's by itself? Y. So we're just going to take our point slope form and get y by itself. That's all we're going to do. So we got y minus 5 equals 3 x minus 4. So this is kind of like one you had the other day where, or yesterday, it asked you to write the equation in slope-intercept form. You just got to get y by itself. That's all you have to do. So to do that, what should I do first here? Yeah, distribute the 3 before we add the 5 because we got to get that multiplication in order of operations happens first. So that's going to be 3x minus 12. And then I can add the 5 to its like term. Then that'd be y is equal to 3x minus 7. And there's our slope-intercept form of that equation. And then the last thing that we're going to do on this problem is we're going to write it in standard form. So standard form, what's the difference in it? Y and x are on the same side. So when we go to do the standard form, we're going to start with that slope-intercept form. let's get y and x on the same side. I subtract 3x. It's going to be negative 3x plus y is equal to negative 7. Does that meet all of the rules for standard form? No. So the a has got to be positive, right? So what do we do to make it positive? Divide by negative 1, and what does that do? Change the sign of everybody. And there we have standard form. So not terribly difficult there. The point slope form, they gave us the slope, they gave us a point it went through, so we could build all the things we needed out of that. And then working from point slope form, we can get slope intercept really easily. And from slope intercept form, we can get standard form really easily. Nothing really too strenuous about that one. Let's do another one. Let's say they give us a slope that's a fraction this time, 1/2. And it say it goes through -6, 10 is our ordered pair. So point slope, and I'm just going to abbreviate that PS there. So y minus what? 10 equals 1/2 x minus -6. This one I can do a little bit of cleanup on. I got a double negative there, and double negative turns into what? A positive, yeah. So that I'm just going to rewrite it as y minus 10 is equal to 1/2 x plus 6. And that'll be my point slope form. Works out real nice. Okay. And now let's go to slope intercept form. Again, that's the one we have most experience with. So we're going to get what by itself? Y by itself. So move or distribute the 1/2. So that's going to be y minus 10, 1/2 x plus 3. Add 10 and we're done. Excuse me. There is our slope intercept form. Now let's go to standard form. Just get that tie it all together with all the different forms here. So I got y equals 1/2 x plus 13. What do I do? Yeah, move the x over. That's negative 1/2 x plus y is equal to 13. If I do that, that'll change the sign. What else do I have to do to the x part? I got to have the greatest or least common denominator is what I'm looking for there. Same right idea. The least common denominator for the fraction, since there's only one fraction, would be what? 2. So when I multiply everybody by 2, if I'll just multiply everybody by -2, that'll, as they say, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. It'll change the sign and fix the fraction part. So that's going to be x minus 2y is equal to -26. And that would be in standard form there. So by using the negative common denominator, that gets the positive in front of the x like we want anyway. So we have point slope, slope intercept, and standard form from that. Okay, not bad, pretty easy. Third. He goes through the point 6, -3, and it's parallel to y equals -3x plus 18. Okay, so what we talked about parallel lines yesterday. What do we know about parallel lines? Say it again. What's the same? The slopes are the same. That's the part that's the same. So this is the slope. They're giving us the slope again, just like the last two examples have. They're just giving us in kind of in disguise is all they're doing there. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go point slope. I don't know why I didn't abbreviate it this time, but anyway, y minus -3 equals -3 x minus 6. I can simplify that a little bit and get y plus 3. And there's our point slope equation. And we can get that into slope intercept. Distribute the -3. And then subtract 3. And there's our slope-intercept form equation. And this one's super easy to get in standard form. Yeah, all you got to do is move the 3x. Don't have to do much else on this one. So we'll move that 3x by addition. Hardly see the orange there, can you? Use different color. So that'd be 3x plus y is equal to 15. There's our standard form out of that. So parallel line, you get your slope from the other equation. Notice that equation that we picked the slope off from is in what form? Yeah, slope intercept up here. So that you need it in that form to get that slope off of it. So if they give it to you in standard form, you want to get it in slope intercept form first. Let's do a perpendicular one. That's always a fun thing to do. Say it goes through -2, -7, perpendicular to y equals -3/4 x minus 2. So what would be the perpendicular slope that we're going to use for this one? Positive or -4/3? Positive 4/3. Good job. So that's the slope we want to use is the positive 4/3. Because remember, negative reciprocal or opposite reciprocal, flip it over, change the sign. And then we can do our point slope form of that. So y minus -7 equals 4/3 x minus -2. Y plus 7, and then 4/3 parentheses x plus 2 out of that. So there's our point slope form. Let's get it into slope intercept form. It's going to have fractions in it, so that's kind of the reason I want to go ahead and do that. I know we feel pretty comfortable getting things into slope intercept form, but we need to practice a little bit here with fractions. So 4/3 x plus 4 times 2 is 8/3. And we're going to subtract 7. 4/3 x minus something. So 7 is going to be -21/3. 8 from 21, 13. 13/3. So there's our slope-intercept form. And then let's go ahead and get it into standard. First move. Yeah, move the x, so subtraction this time. So -4/3 x plus y is equal to -13/3. So I got to change the signs and get rid of the fraction. So I'm going to multiply by what? -3 will take care of both of those things. So that's going to be positive 4x minus 3y equals positive 13. And there's our standard form for that. So far, they've given us a slope in some way, either through an equation that was parallel to, or through a perpendicular equation that's parallel to, or they just said, hey, here's the slope, use it. So what do we do if they don't give us that, and they give us, that it goes, this is 5. Two more here, guys, and we're done. It goes through 6, 8, and 4, negative 10. Okay, yeah, the slope formula. We got to find the slope. And y'all remember y2, like I said, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. You got to find the slope. So that old slope formula that we used a ton of in Algebra 1 and 8th grade math, we're going to plug in the ordered pairs there. It doesn't matter if you start with the negative 10 up top or the 8. Just pick one. I'm going to start with the negative 10, and I'm going to subtract 8. Since I started with the negative 10 y value, I got to start with that x value that goes with it, so that'd be 4 minus 6. That's going to give me negative 18 over negative 2, which reduces to be what? Positive 9. And then from there, you're going to use this as your slope. When you go to do your point slope form, you just got to pick one of the ordered pairs to use. It doesn't matter which one. I'm okay with you picking either one. But you're going to find point slope. So that'd be y minus 8 equals 9, x minus 6. Or you could do y plus 10 equals 9, x minus 4. Either of those is a correct point slope form out of that. The beautiful thing about it is once you get to slope intercept, they will be exactly the same. Okay, so doesn't matter which ordered pair you pick, just pick one of them to do your point slope form with, and then when you go to your slope intercept form, it should be the exact same no matter which ordered pair you started with. Okay, I don't think we need to go through doing. We've done 4 of them already, going from there, so I think you're good on that skill. Just make sure we can do the slope, and then go from point slope form into slope intercept form. That will get you the right thing. So slope intercept form should be the same no matter which order pair you use. All right. I think that's enough. I think you guys, y'all have been doing this for years. I don't think it's anything I'm going to beat a dead horse here. So.